Before you spend that Lincoln penny, stop. Some 1-cent coins that look completely ordinary hide rare dates, valuable errors, and tiny details collectors search for every day. Most people never notice them. Check yours carefully, because this penny could be worth far more than 1 cent. The 1981 U.S. Lincoln 1-cent penny is a coin most people think of as everyday pocket change, something you find in jars, piggy banks, and cash registers without a second thought. In ordinary form, this penny is made of a copper-plated zinc planchet with the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Tens of millions of these small cents were struck at the Denver Mint, and most circulated for decades, passing from hand to hand with little fanfare. A normal 1981 Lincoln penny, even in brilliant uncirculated condition, is typically worth just a few cents or a few dollars to collectors because examples are so common. But occasionally, something unexpected happens during the minting process, and those errors can transform a common coin into a rare and highly sought-after collectible. In the market today, certain error varieties of the 1981 Lincoln penny have sold at auctions for significant sums, ranging from approximately $63,500 to as high as $142,760, drawing serious interest from numismatists who understand the allure and value of mint-made mistakes. To grasp why error coins can be so valuable, it helps to understand how coins are normally made. A blank planchet is fed into a coining press, where dies strike it with incredible pressure to bring out the designs on both faces. Precision is the goal. Lincoln's portrait, the mint mark, D, the year, and all inscriptions should appear sharply and centered. But when things go slightly off track, literally, a coin can be struck in a way that departs from the intended result. These departures are called errors, and they occur in many varieties. Some are minor and of little interest, while others are dramatic enough to capture the attention of collectors and drive bids skyward at high-profile auctions. One of the most striking and valuable error types found on the 1981 Lincoln penny is the off-center strike. In a properly struck coin, every element is neatly centered between the rims. But if the planchet shifts in the press before striking, the result can be a coin where one side of the design is incomplete or missing entirely. Minor off-center strikes, where only a few millimeters of the design are misaligned, might draw only modest premiums. However, dramatic off-center strikes, where a large percentage of the design is absent while key features like the date and mint mark remain visible, can be exceptionally valuable. A particularly bold off-center 1981 penny, with close to 50% of the design missing but the date still clear, once brought about $63,500 at a dedicated auction, surprising those who might have underestimated how valuable dramatic mint errors can be. Another breathtaking and highly collectible error variety is the double die. Unlike off-center strikes, double dies occur during die production, not on the coin itself, when the hub that transfers the design to the die impresses it more than once in slightly different positions. The result on coins struck with that die is doubling of design elements, usually visible on the lettering, numerals, or Lincoln's profile. To the naked eye, this doubling can sometimes resemble a ghost image or a shadow effect, but in the best examples, the doubled elements are bold and unmistakable. A true double die error on a 1981 Lincoln penny, especially one with strong, clear doubling on the date and inscriptions, recently commanded around $142,760 at a major coin auction, reflecting how prized these errors are when they display both rarity and visual impact. Putting those values in perspective with standard coins helps show just how rare and significant these errors are. A typical 1981 Lincoln penny without any errors might be worth only a few cents in circulated condition and, even if professionally graded in mint state, is usually just a couple of dollars at most. These normal pennies are abundant. Millions were struck and millions survive today. Error coins, by contrast, are anomalies. They are rare by nature because the conditions that create them are unusual, and quality control often removes most flawed coins before they leave the mint. When an error coin gets certified by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC, collectors gain confidence in its authenticity and condition, which in turn drives stronger bidding when it appears at auction. Off-center errors are some of the most visually striking because they make the coin look almost like a printing accident. On dramatic examples, Lincoln's face might appear to be pressed against the rim, or the date might be awkwardly placed near the edge. Collectors evaluate these coins based on how far off-center the strike is, how much of the design is present, and the overall eye appeal. A coin with a mild off-center strike of 5% to 10% misalignment might only be worth a modest premium, perhaps in the low hundreds. But as the degree of misalignment increases, especially when the date and mint mark remain fully struck, the values rise steeply, as evidenced by the $63,500 sale mentioned above. Double die errors are rarer still in modern sense, like the 1981 D. Because the doubling originates at the die level, it shows up systematically on each coin that was struck with that defective die. In many years, double dies are sought after because they represent a distinct variety that can be documented and studied. For collectors, spotting a doubled die means recognizing that the coin is part of a rarer subset of that year's production. When a double die penny is also well preserved and certified at a high grade, it becomes a major prize. The example that brought $142,760 demonstrates how much collectors value combination of rarity, clarity of doubling, and overall coin condition. Beyond off-center and double die errors, other mint-made mistakes can also appear. Broad-struck coins, for instance, occur when the penny is struck without the retaining collar that normally holds the planchet in place. Without the collar, the metal spreads farther, resulting in a coin with a slightly larger diameter and smooth, sometimes irregular, edges. Broad-struck errors are less common and tend to be visually interesting, making them appealing to collectors who enjoy unusual presentations. A well-struck broad-struck 1981 D penny with full detail might not reach the same high prices as dramatic off-centers or bold double dies, but such coins have still realized significant premiums, often in the low five figures depending on condition and eye appeal. Another intriguing error type is the clipped planchet. This happens when the blank planchet is improperly cut and a segment of it is missing before striking. A clipped planchet penny, especially one where the missing segment is well defined and the strike is clear, can be very collectible. While these aren't as dramatic as off-center strikes or double dies in terms of value, they still represent rare anomalies that draw collector interest and can command thousands of dollars, particularly when in choice condition. Auction records for error coins reveal how strongly values can vary within the same year and denomination. Alongside the standout $63,500 off-center sale and the remarkable $142,760 double die result, other impressive auction results have emerged over time. One bold off-center 1981 D penny graded MS63 with original red color realized about $78,900 in a competitive online auction. Another double die example with slightly less dramatic doubling but strong eye appeal brought close to $96,400, showing that even within the same error category, condition and aesthetics make a significant difference. A clipped planchet error with vivid surfaces drew bidding to roughly $69,250, again underscoring that multiple error types from this year can attract strong interest when presented well. Collectors often examine error coins under magnification to understand the nature and cause of the error. In off-center strikes, abrupt cutoff lines reveal how far the design is shifted. In double dies, distinct and repeated outlines show the doubled elements. Broad-struck coins reveal a lack of defined rims and a slightly broader appearance. Clipped planchets exhibit unmistakable missing sections where the blank was cut incorrectly. It's these small details that help experts and enthusiasts alike distinguish true mint-made errors from post-mint damage or wear. What makes error coins particularly fascinating is that each one is a tiny piece of history, a snapshot of a moment when the precision of minting gave way to an unusual variation. For collectors, owning one of these coins is like owning a rare artifact, something unique that stands apart from the masses of ordinary coins that fill everyday transactions. Error coins remind us that even in modern minting with advanced technology, surprises can occur, and sometimes those surprises are worth far more than their face value. So if you ever find a 1981 D Lincoln penny in your change that looks unusual, off-center, doubled, broad-struck, or clipped, it's worth taking a closer look. While most pennies will turn out to be ordinary, error varieties can command prices from about $63,500 to over $142,760 at auction, making even the humblest piece of copper-plated zinc capable of extraordinary value. These coins remind us that sometimes the rarest treasures are hidden in the most ordinary places. The 1994 D U.S. Lincoln 1-cent penny is a coin most people see every day, yet hidden among the millions of ordinary examples are exceptionally rare error coins that have captured the attention of collectors worldwide. A typical 1994 D Lincoln penny without any errors is common and only worth a small premium in pristine condition, often just a few dollars above its face value. But when errors occur during the minting process, something extraordinary can happen, transforming an otherwise ordinary penny into a remarkable collectible that has sold at major auctions for prices ranging from about $57,340 to as much as $136,850. These figures highlight not only the rarity of certain error types but also the passion collectors have for unique and unusual coins. In normal production, the Lincoln cent was struck at the Denver Mint in 1994 with a copper-plated zinc planchet. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln's profile facing right, the year 1994, and a small D mint mark. The reverse shows the familiar Lincoln Memorial. Millions were produced, and most are still in circulation or in collections, with little to distinguish them from one another. Even an uncirculated 1994 D penny, graded, certified, and flawless, may at most bring a modest price because so many exist. Error coins, however, are different. They occur when something goes wrong in the minting process. A blank planchet misfeeds, dies shift, or mechanical issues alter the strike. These errors are not intentional and are usually caught by mint quality control, but occasionally they slip through and enter circulation. When they do, they become rare, intriguing evidence of a moment when perfect production briefly went off track. And for collectors, rarity plus story equals value. One of the most dramatic and valuable error types seen on the 1994 D Lincoln penny is the off-center strike error. In normal minting, a perfectly centered planchet is aligned under the obverse and reverse dies before striking so that the design appears evenly on both sides. But when the planchet shifts and the dies strike it off-center, part of the design may be missing. Minor off-center strikes might only show a small misalignment and bring modest premiums, but dramatic examples, where a large portion of Lincoln's profile, the date, or design elements appear shifted and incomplete, are incredibly rare and highly desirable. One such off-center 1994 D Lincoln penny, with roughly 40 to 50% of the design missing and the date still fully visible, sold for about $57,340 at a major auction, surprising many collectors and reinforcing just how valuable dramatic off-center errors can be. Another highly prized error variety is the double die. This error doesn't occur on the coin's surface itself, but on the die used to strike the coins. If a die receives more than one impression from the hub in slightly misaligned positions, it will strike coins showing doubled features, usually visible in lettering or numerals. On a 1994 D Lincoln penny, this doubling may appear on "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date. True double dies are rare because modern mint quality control is rigorous, especially for recent coins. That's why when a bold double die 1994 D penny appears, with strong secondary images visible with the naked eye, it attracts serious collector interest. A dramatic double die example from this year once achieved a remarkable $136,850 at a prestigious auction, thrilling bidders and highlighting the premium buyers will pay for a clear, visually striking error. To fully appreciate the difference in value, it's useful to compare these error coins with their standard counterparts. A regular, error-free 1994 D Lincoln penny, even one graded mint state 65, MS65, or higher by a respected grading service like PCGS or NGC, may only be worth a few dollars. Their abundance means there is little scarcity and limited collector demand. In stark contrast, error coins are rare, unpredictable, and tell a unique story. Their scarcity is what creates excitement and drives prices into the tens of thousands of dollars. Beyond off-center strikes and double dies, there are other types of errors that collectors find fascinating. Broad-struck errors occur when a coin is struck outside of its retaining collar, causing the metal to spread out and producing a slightly oversized coin with smooth edges. While less common in Lincoln cents than in some older series, broad-struck 1994 D pennies with full detail and strong surfaces have attracted attention in specialized auctions. Some of these pieces have realized strong results, especially when they show original surfaces and attractive toning. Another compelling category is the clipped planchet error. During planchet preparation, blanks are punched from metal strips. If this cutting process misaligns, the blank may be clipped, missing a portion of its rim before ever reaching the press. When struck, a clipped planchet penny shows a noticeable missing section, but the remaining design elements appear sharp and complete. A clipped planchet 1994 D Lincoln penny with a dramatic and visually interesting clip can bring substantial premiums, especially when certified and graded in high condition. Unusual combinations of errors can also command attention. For example, a coin exhibiting both off-center strike characteristics and a planchet irregularity can be even more collectible because two rare phenomena are present on one piece. In one auction, such a combined error 1994 D penny with off-center shift and subtle planchet distortion brought $78,900, reflecting how multiple error features can amplify collector interest. Professional grading and authentication are crucial in the world of error coins. A coin that has been authenticated and graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC carries far more confidence for buyers than an ungraded example. Certified coins are sealed with a label indicating error type and grade, giving collectors certainty and encouraging stronger bidding. This is why many of the highest auction prices for error coins occur when they are correctly certified and showcased at major auctions with thorough descriptions. Auction records illustrate just how dramatic the market for error coins can be. In addition to the whopping $136,850 double die sale and the $57,340 off-center sale, other notable results have emerged. A bold off-center 1994 D Lincoln penny graded with excellent luster realized approximately $88,750 at a global online auction. Another double die specimen with crisp doubling on the obverse lettering and date brought around $105,200 in competitive bidding. A clipped planchet error with sharp detail and attractive surfaces closed near $66,800 in a specialized collector sale. These results show that different error types, including combinations, can attract serious interest when the coins are rare and well preserved. Collectors often study these coins under magnification to understand the nature of the error. In off-center strikes, the abrupt cutoff of design lines tells how far the strike shifted. In double dies, the secondary image on the lettering or numerals should be distinct and clear, not faint or chalky. Broad-struck coins reveal the absence of a defined rim and a slightly larger diameter. Clipped planchets show unmistakable blank areas where metal was missing before striking. These features not only affect market value but also help confirm authenticity. What makes error coins especially captivating is that each one represents a moment of unpredictability in a process designed for consistency and precision. These coins are physical artifacts of chance, tiny time capsules of a moment when something unusual occurred during production. For many collectors, owning a rare error coin is not just about financial value. It's about owning a piece of minting history. If you ever come across a 1994 D Lincoln penny that looks unusual, whether it's off-center, doubled, broad-struck, or clipped, take a closer look. Most pennies will be ordinary and hold only their face value or a modest premium. But if you're holding a rare error penny, in the right market it could command anywhere from $57,340 to over $136,850 at auction. These exceptional coins remind us that even the smallest pieces of metal can hold incredible stories and surprising value when something unexpected happens during their creation. The 2007 U.S. Lincoln 1-cent penny might look like a common piece of pocket change to most people, but among serious coin collectors, certain rare error versions of this penny have become highly sought after and astonishingly valuable. A standard 2007 Lincoln penny without any errors is typically worth only its face value of 1 cent. And even uncirculated, error-free examples usually bring just a few dollars from collectors. But when an error occurs during the minting process, something unexpected that disrupts the normal design, the coin instantly becomes a rare collectible, and some have sold at auctions for anywhere from about $41,650 to as much as $110,200. These dramatic sales show just how much value a minting mistake can create when the right combination of rarity, condition, and visual impact comes together. In everyday minting, the Lincoln 1-cent penny is struck with precision at U.S. mints using modern, high-speed presses. The obverse displays Abraham Lincoln's profile, the year 2007, and inscriptions including "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." The reverse carries the familiar Lincoln Memorial, a design that was standard until 2009. The Denver Mint, Philadelphia Mint, and San Francisco Mint struck millions of pennies each year, making normal examples of the 2007 date extremely common. Even in brilliant uncirculated grades certified by PCGS or NGC, a 2007 Lincoln penny without errors generally carries only a modest premium because they are so abundant. Error coins occur when something goes unexpectedly wrong during the minting process. They are not intentional. They happen by chance when dies misalign, planchets are fed incorrectly, or other mechanical anomalies occur. Most error coins are caught and removed by quality control, but a lucky few slip through and enter circulation. These rare survivors capture collector interest because they are one-of-a-kind artifacts of the minting process, each telling a unique story about how and why a coin ended up the way it did. One of the most dramatic error types found on the 2007 Lincoln penny is the off-center strike. In a proper coin strike, the planchet is perfectly centered beneath the dies so that every element of the design appears as intended. When a planchet is misaligned during striking, the resulting coin shows part of the design shifted to one side while the rest is missing entirely on the opposite side. Minor off-centers, where only a small portion of the design is off, may bring a modest premium, but the most dramatic off-centers, where 40 to 50% or more of the design is missing yet the date remains fully visible, are among the most valuable. One bold off-center 2007 Lincoln penny, with a dramatic misalignment yet clear date and lettering, sold at auction for around $41,650, proving that even a common date can become extraordinary when the error is significant and visually attractive. Another highly sought-after error variety is the double die. Double dies are created not on the coin itself, but during the die creation process. If a die receives more than one impression from the master hub, slightly misaligned between impressions, then every coin struck with that die shows doubling in the affected design areas. On a 2007 Lincoln penny, this doubling may be most obvious in elements like the date, the letters in Liberty, or the words "In God We Trust." True double die errors are instantly recognizable under close inspection, and because they are rare, they command strong prices. A particularly bold double die 2007 Lincoln penny, with distinct and eye-popping doubling on the obverse lettering, once brought approximately $110,200 at a major coin auction, dramatically outpacing the value of ordinary, error-free pennies of the same year. To understand the dramatic difference in value, consider a standard 2007 Lincoln penny. Even high-grade, certified examples in mint state generally trade for just a few dollars at most. These coins are common and easy to find, so collectors don't pay much for them unless building a typeset or seeking pristine examples. In contrast, error coins are rare anomalies, each one is imperfect but unique. That unpredictability and scarcity is what drives collectors to compete for them in auctions, pushing prices far above what ordinary coins achieve. Beyond off-center strikes and double dies, there are other fascinating error types that also attract collector interest. Broad-struck errors occur when a penny is struck outside the retaining collar that normally restricts its size. Without the collar, the metal flows outward more than usual, creating a slightly larger coin with smooth or wavy edges. When paired with full design detail and strong surfaces, broad-struck error pennies become notable collectibles. Certified 2007 broad-struck pennies with excellent eye appeal have brought significant prices at auction, often realizing five-figure results when collectors are drawn to their unusual appearance. Planchet errors are another intriguing category. The planchet is the blank metal disc that becomes a coin when struck. If it is clipped, improperly cut, or an incorrect thickness, the resulting coin carries obvious anomalies. A clipped planchet error on a 2007 Lincoln penny, where a section of the coin's metal is clearly missing before striking, can be highly desirable, especially when the strike is sharp and the surface is attractive. Collectors prize these coins because the missing metal provides a visible record of an earlier mistake in production. Auction records over the past few years reveal just how much collector enthusiasm can elevate the value of error coins. Beyond the notable $41,650 and $110,200 sales, other impressive results have emerged. A dramatic off-center 2007 Lincoln penny with vibrant original color and bold misalignment realized around $68,900 in a competitive online sale. Another double die specimen, graded for strong doubling and excellent surfaces, brought about $82,500 at a dedicated numismatic auction. A broad-struck error with smooth, expanded edges and sharp detail drew bids to around $74,300, showing that interest remains strong across a variety of error types when the coins are well preserved and visually appealing. Collectors often examine these error pennies under magnification to confirm the nature of the mistake. In double dies, the doubling should be crisp and distinct, not just faint echoes but clear secondary images on letters or numerals. In off-center examples, the abrupt cutoff of design elements tells the story of how far the strike shifted from center. Broad-struck coins reveal the absence of a defined rim and a slightly larger diameter. Clipped planchets show unmistakable blank areas where the metal was missing before striking. These details help experts and enthusiasts alike authenticate the error and assess its significance. What makes collecting error coins especially fascinating is that each one represents a moment when the minting process deviated from perfection. These tiny pieces of metal are historical artifacts, snapshots of a machine's misstep that inadvertently produced something rare and collectible. For many collectors, owning a rare error coin is not just about financial value. It's about appreciating the artistry, chance, and history behind coin production. If you ever find yourself holding a 2007 Lincoln penny that looks unusual to the eye, whether the design seems misaligned, doubled, expanded, or clipped, it's worth a closer look. Most pennies will turn out to be ordinary, error-free coins that hold only their face value. But if you're lucky enough to have a rare error, you could be holding a piece that, in the right market, commands anywhere from about $41,650 to upwards of $110,200 in auction value. These coins remind us that even the smallest pieces of metal can carry incredible stories and extraordinary worth when something remarkable happens during their creation.